everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So today's video, very excited because I have two new products. Both I purchased myself, and the first one is something I haven't purchased in a while, which is a Natasha Denona mini. I decluttered all my minis because I realized I was using the midis more than I was using the minis. So I haven't purchased a mini in forever. I did receive the Mini My Dream in PR, and I still have that one. I use it all the time. I absolutely love it, but I didn't purchase that one. This one I saw and I was just like, I have to have it. And I am not an all matte palette type of person anyway, but I saw this and I was just like, I have to have it. So I ordered it as soon as it came out available on Sephora. I did have a 20% coupon because I didn't shop the Sephora sale. I didn't do a video, I didn't shop the Sephora sale, and not even for Sephora products, which I actually had intended and just completely forgot. So they sent me a 20, they said, you didn't shop the sale, so here's a 20% coupon. And so they sent it to me and I was able to use that on this. So this came out to like $21.60, I think it came out to be. And then I also got the Huda Beauty blush filter. This is in the shade Latte. So with, I talked about this earlier this year. I got 2 shades in PR. I absolutely loved it. I ended up purchasing a 3rd shade. She came out with 5. And then with the Icy Nude, she came out with like 2 nude shades. This is the shade Latte. That is for light to medium skin tones. And then there's a shade Coco Loco for medium to deep, which was obviously way too deep, but it's a very, it's a brown, it's pretty much a brown blush. So what I plan to do is kind of use this with like, mix it. I'm going to use it today. I'm going to start with this. I know I love this. I love this blush formula. So I'm going to use this today to just kind of show what the shade looks like. And then we'll get into this new little mini from Natasha Denona. Okay, so as I mentioned, she came out with 2 new shades with the Icy Nude palette. I don't think these are limited edition, but it does say Icy Nude on the box. So I don't think these are limited edition. I hope not. But they are, it's a brown. I mean, it is a brown blush. So it's gonna be like a nude blush. So what I'm gonna do is I've talked about this before. I don't recommend putting this straight to your face because it is pretty much like a stain. So what I have is I have a little palette here that I use, and then I'm going to take my Sigma. This is the Sigma F43 soft angled cheek brush. And what I do is I will use that to apply it to my cheek. So you'll just see here, I'll just tap it and then apply it to the cheek. So, you know, again, I wasn't planning on doing a video. I just really wanted this shade. But because I'm doing the little mini sculpted, I figured I might as well just kind of show this one on camera. It's a pretty nude blush. What I plan to do is hopefully use it with other shades and maybe mix it, because I have done that before where I've mixed the other 2 shades to kind of get, you know, if I'm trying to look, you know, I have like a pink and I have the strawberry cream and like the watermelon pop. I've mixed those 2 together. So, but this is a really pretty nude blush. So, so far I like it. I'm gonna blend this out a little bit more and then come back. Okay, so here it is on both cheeks. I was afraid it was going to be maybe a little too brown, but I actually love the shade. I think it's gorgeous, so I'm really happy I got it. This is $21. I did get 20% off because I did have that coupon, so I did get to save. I think it came out to like $17, which is great, but also the About Face formula is very, I mean, I feel like it's almost like the same type of formula, and they have different shades. I have a whole video on that. You can see here some unique shades too, and those have already gone on sale. I think they got down to like $12.50 at some point, but they're pretty much like full price or about the same price, but very similar formula. I like those equally. I just like the shades of the Huda a little bit more, but I do use them. I kind of feel like they're the same product. So, but I love this. So if you were thinking about getting this, you're looking for like a nice liquid nude blush, this one is great. Okay, so now we'll get into this little mini, and it is $27. And one of the things I liked about it is that the shades are just basic. It is fair, light, medium, deep, and black. Like very simple. The first 2 shades are her Silky Matte formula. The other 3 shades are her Creamy Matte formula. So if you're familiar, I love both formulas, so that's great. I purposely bought this for a complimentary palette. Like, I feel like it's going to be complementary to her other palettes, and also for vacation. Like, I don't really use the minis anymore, like on a daily basis. And do you need this? Probably not. Like, this is not something that I think most people need, because you probably have these shades in other palettes. But for travel, one, they're all like right here. Like, you just need a shade, they're right here. But then also, if you you don't have to look for them. But then also, like, for travel, I think this is great. And one of the things, well, I think it's perfect. This is like, I feel like I should do a video of products that I love that other people hate. This has been on everybody's worst list for 2024. I love this palette, but I think I bought it for what it was made for. And this is the Hyper Natural palette. I use this a lot, and I use this specifically on vacation. I think this goes great with that, because these are supposed to be like one and done shadows. You've got like the contour bronzer, and you got the blush, and this is really good to kind of complement with one of these shades here. So if you wanted not an all matte look, but you wanted a little bit of shimmer, you could use this. So not that that's why I bought this, but I kind of see like myself on vacation using this with this. So anyway, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a very simple look. I did some swatches. I'll show some swatches at the end. I did compare to two palettes. The first one I thought of was the Iconic Nudes from Charlotte Tilbury, because this is a all matte palette that's like neutral, but this one is kind of set up differently. First of all, it's 6 shades, but then it's set up to be like 3 and 3, so you'll see that swatches comparisons in a second. And then also the other one that I have personally was the little one from Lawless, and this one is about, I think, $29, so it's about the same price. You get 6 matte shades, but then you also get 2 shimmers. Now there's also some different shades here, so what I did is I swatched just the mattes in this palette, but just kind of giving you a comparison. But this one is truly neutral. I saw that Angela Bright posted a video. I haven't watched it yet, but she always does really good swatch comparisons, so I would take a look at that if you're looking for swatch comparisons. I'm not going to be doing like swatch comparisons to the other Natasha Denona palettes, because do I think that these shades are in other palettes? Probably. There's probably like really close shades, if not like exact shades, probably shades that are very, very close with the Natasha Denona formula, with the same formula. The fact is that it's in this little mini, and that's the point, is like, do you want it in this little mini? Do you want to spend it, maybe some people, don't have this, and maybe if your collection is small, then this would be great to start. But if you're watching this video, you probably are one that has somewhat of a nice, decent makeup collection. So is it something that you need? Probably not, but it's nice to have it right here. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I already put my hair back. Before we get started, I did want to go ahead and show you the swatches of this palette in Natural Sunlight. So we'll go ahead and do that, and you'll see just from left to right, you see the fair, then light, medium, deep, and black. And one thing I will notice about this black is not that it's not very pigmented, but it's not, I almost thought it was a dark brown. So I thought it's a black that I feel like it's something that you can build up, but it's something that is not like very, very strong, which is something that I like. So maybe not everybody's going to like that, but for me, I think that's good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a basic look. I'm going to try, I kind of rely on shimmers to cover up my inability to do really good eyeshadow, because when you're working with shimmers, you can kind of just cover, and things can you don't have to be so precise or be so really good with them with eyeshadow, because the shimmers kind of cover it up, and I kind of rely on that a lot. So I'm going to do a very, very basic look. There is like a little kind of description in here. You can see inside the box. There's also some really good pictures on her website. And then I saw, and Angela Bright does a great tutorial, so I'm sure she does a really good one. I purposely didn't want to watch her video before I filmed mine. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Fair, and I'm just going to put it in, and I'm going to do it on one eye, and then I'm just going to duplicate everything on the other eye. But I'm going to just put this on the inside, and then on the brow bone which is pretty much what I would normally do with the lightest color. And this really lightest color is really good also to soften the edges when you're done. Okay, next I'm going to go in with the light shade, and I'm just going to go in and use that kind of as a transition, and also put it on. Sometimes I don't really worry about the lid, but since we're doing with like an all matte look, I am. So I'm just going to go all over. And this one, it seems like you have to build up a little bit. I did notice that when I swatched it. So it's pretty, I mean, it's described as light, but it is pretty light, but it feels like it does build up pretty well. Okay, so there it is on both sides. Very, very pale color. This one is a little powdery, not too powdery, but it is a little bit more powdery than, you know, there is just a little bit of dust up, but nothing too severe. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go in with shade number, I'm gonna go with the third shade. Let's just do the third shade. And then I'll probably go in a little bit with the fourth shade, which is deep, and then black I will do to line. But let's go ahead and go in with the medium shade. And I'm just gonna go in just kind of like what I always do, but I'm just going to blend a little bit more because I really don't really blend, because I kind of cover it up with the shimmer, and that's usually what I do. Like I've said, I rely on the shimmer to cover up the fact that I'm not the best at blending eyeshadow. Okay, so that is the medium shade on the outside, which I absolutely loved. Went on not nearly, this one is the creamy matte, so it's not nearly as much dust up as the first two shades, especially the second shade, but I think it looks great. I do want to use all 5 shades since there's only 5 shades, so I am going to go in, but honestly, I think this looks great. I could probably just line with the other one, but I'm going to put a little bit of the darkest shade just on the outer corner on each side, just so that I can do it. You can kind of see it just kind of deepens it a little bit, and then I'm going to bring it over. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. And just to kind of be able to use all 5 shades. Okay, what I'm going to do now is use the shade Deep and to line the lower lash line with, this is the rougher 3. Most of the brushes I am using are my rougher. I have one Sonia G, which is the Crease Pro. That is my all-time favorite brush. But the rest are rougher. So I'm just going to do this to line the lower lash line, and then I'm going to line the upper lash line with the black. Okay, so there is the lower lash line lined. Now I'm going to take that black and I'm just going to line the upper lash line. And I don't do this often, so I'm going to do a little on camera, but I'm probably going to go off camera so that I can really focus on it because I don't do this often. Okay, rather than doing both eyes, I just did this eye, but I had to show you because I don't do this often because I usually have shimmer on, but I mean, I'm looking at it and it really is a difference. So that is with the black aligned on the top. So I need to start doing that more, but I am going to finish this eye and then come back with mascara and give you my final thoughts, and also show you those 2 comparisons with those 2 smaller palettes. Okay, so I finished this up, and honestly, as I was looking at it, I really love how this came out, you know, and I forgot, I used to wear just matte eyeshadow for a long time, and I started wearing shimmer, and then I just kind of never stopped, and I forgot how much I really like it. So this one is really super easy to use, really, really easy, very easy to blend out. And I think that because there was no shimmers, I really focused on, you know, the skill and making sure that it was blended out and it was sculpted, and it's supposed to be. It's like the Eye Sculpt, Mini Eye Sculpt palette, which I think is perfect. So here really quick is some comparisons. Like I mentioned, I have the Iconic Nudes, which again is like 6 pan. And then this is the one, the little one from Lawless, which has 6 mattes and then 2 shimmers. So I did want to just kind of do a comparison. So the first one you're going to see here is the one with the Charlotte Tilbury. And the Charlotte Tilbury, again, it's kind of like a 3 and 3. You do have that one light shade, which is the 4th shade. The first 3 shades are pretty warm. The last 2 shades are kind of similar. I think that The fifth shade is kind of in between the light and the medium. And then you have that black shade, which is very, very similar. But for the overall, I think it's a little bit more warm leaning. So you're going to have the undertones are different than the one in the Natasha Denona. And then the next one is the little one from Lawless. And these are just the matte shades. The lightest shade is definitely a little bit lighter than the one in Natasha Denona. You don't have a shade like the light shade in that one. And then, you know, it's kind of more, definitely more warm leaning. You have that like orangey shade. The black is definitely a deeper black, definitely more pronounced. So, you know, again, it's a very similar palette. You are going to get two shimmers in that. I think this is a good alternative to this one, but it's, again, this is like a palette that's meant to be, you know, kind of all encompassing, where this is like this kind of is like a palette to be complimentary, kind of just do it on your own. A very simple eye look like I did today. Great for like every day for work, but also complimentary. I could see this pairing this with my Pop Shots from Charlotte Tilbury, where I do this look and then I just pop on a shimmer, or I pop on the Munda shadow from Urban Decay. Like, I totally see me using this. I see myself using this a lot. I see this staying on my vanity. I see this traveling with me. You know, again, do I have these shades? Probably. You know, I have the ColourPop, you know, big, larger palettes. I'm sure they're in there, but the fact is that it's in this like nice little small 5-pan that can travel. $27. Again, I did buy it with the 20% off. So I think, you know, it's great if you're buying it like that. I do have a 15% promo code on NatashaDenona.com, which is this Shannon. So if you are going to purchase it, I do try and use it, you know, when there's a sale or a coupon. You know, do you need it right now? No, unless maybe you're traveling or something, you want it. But is it something you need right away? No, but I think it's something that's great for a staple in, you know, your makeup vanity. So that's what I would say. And that's one of the reasons why I bought it, because I was just like, do I need this? No, but man, this is great. And I think it's great to have. I think these are true neutral shades, probably more leaning a little bit more warm than they are cool. So, but I think they are true neutrals. Like if you pair them up with like next to a warmer palette, you see where they're more neutral. But if you kind of pair it up with like a cooler palette, you will see that it's more warm. So it's definitely a true neutral type of brown. Highly recommend it. And then again, I love the Huda Beauty blush filters. Do not regret. I really like the Latte. When I first got it, I was like, ooh, this might be a little too brown, and I really like how it looks. I think it's great. And this is like, these last fantastic. I have 4 shades, 2 I received in BR, but 2 I purchased on my own. So I think they're fantastic. So I highly recommend this as well. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.